What do we remember happened last time?
I always wait to the last fucking second to open up my notes. I kind of forget they exist until it's session time. And I'm like, what else do I need? Oh yeah. Um. Yes. Booker got another visit from Celestian. Button made a new friend. They both had visions talking with a. Oh, hello.
Hi, Joe. You're just in time for the recap.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Did you hear me then?
Now
Yeah,
I
I
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
I don't understand what the fuck the microphone's issue is, man.
Can you hear us?
Oh no, my microphone's not picking up again. Cool.
Oh,
I don't know what
can
it
hear
is.
you. Can hear you.
Technical difficulties.
What's that song? I like technical difficulties song. We'll
I
be back after commercial break.
but
Um.
yes, Booker had another visit with Celestian, and some
Mm,
interesting information went back and forth. Button got a
yep.
visit from. Do you remember the name?
Kellenvor?
Yes.
I don't know how to spell it, but it was said enough that I know it.
Every time I hear that name, I think of the ring maker guy from Lord of the Rings.
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor? Yeah.
Kelemvor is Kelemvor.
Hold on. NPZ, what is it? K-E...
L
Uh-huh.
E M VOR.
Kellenvor. Okay. I think I spelled it right a couple of times. I think I spelled it differently during the notes a few times. But I feel like that was the way I spelt it, like, at least 2 or 3 times.
Do you remember
But,
what Kelemvor told you on your field trip to the fugue plane?
yes. It's a lot of fucking undead. If I remember the gist of it, there's a lot of undead. There's something, don't know what, is like what, draining the power?
Mm-hmm.
Um uh I'm trying to skim, but there's a lot of notes here. It's
Essentially,
keeping souls from going to the fugue plane where they're supposed to go,
mm-hmm,
draining the essence of the fugue itself.
mm-hmm. So there's something
Mhm.
fucky going on with death and presumably undeath that Kelemvor is
Mhm.
not being able to really place a finger on. But he assumed correctly that Button would be equally as concerned,
Mhm.
and recruited Button.
Very easily.
And both Button and Booker, in their talks with the gods, were kind of given tasks of Button that there's a place that they are going to be going. They need to make sure they are the last people to go there. Cut off any future traffic or interest in this place. And Booker was told that if he wants to use what's inside him, he has to get stronger. And in that path to getting stronger, that the place that they were going to end up would be a stepping stone at the very least. And well, both shared all that information over breakfast the next day. And shortly thereafter, came across a sight completely foreign and completely alien to all of you. Something none of you have ever seen or even really you ever dreamt of seeing in amongst the astral sea, floating in that swirling mist of purple and silver and blue, a massive figure that seems to be almost etched out of stone, of a person, or what's meant to be a person, curled into the fetal position, but not just a normal person. This is a figure that, from the tip of its head all the way down its spine, is miles long. So long, in fact, that you have troubles even seeing more than just the shadowed outline of its furthest reaches from the ship as you approach, obscured by the fog and the mist of the astral sea. And I do believe everybody made it up to the deck to see this thing on approach. And that is where we left off last time. While you're just staring and taking in what the Lady Luck is slowly but surely approaching. Is there any reactions or interactions that need to be done right now?
Well, it never changes. Button is going to start writing this down.
I am going to have Booker use a charge of spell sight. I don't know if this will work. But he's going to use a charge of spell sight to cast Detect Magic.
And with the spell site, it's going to count, still running like normal detect magic, or does it have anything bonus to it?
Nope, it just works just like a basic Detect Magic.
So, even with this figure being... Hi, Hazel. Even with this figure being, as you're approaching, outside of the range of a standard detect magic, you can feel it and see it, just a very faint haze. And with the, let me double check the exact, yeah, with the ability to see magical aura, even with detect magic usually just being very faint, this is nearly blinding. Just a swirling mix of colors that shift, and as soon as you kind of grasp one and start trying to parse what it might be, it shifts into another type of magic, another power of what you can only associate with, not quite, but closest to wild magic.
So this might be a dumb question, but what characteristic is most apparent from wild magic? Is it like uncontrolled randomness, or is it like part of nature?
So wild magic is, at least how I would explain it, is just raw, kind of untapped energy for magic. It has not
Gotcha.
been refined and pointed towards a type of magic or a school of magic or any particular spell. It is just the raw energy.
So this is like staring into a nuclear reactor.
Yes.
Okay. Booker is just awestruck, looking at it, squinting his eyes, not really sure what he can do, but like, or not can do, but more like what he should do. But he's just staring at it, absolutely gobsmacked.
Kind of towards the back of the group, you can hear just very faintly Micken kind of muttering under his breath, and you take a glance back, you see him kind of staring, head tilted, like has his hand outstretched, like one eye closed, looking through, like down his arm at a finger. You can tell he very easily he is doing calculations, rough estimates of size and angle and everything. And as you continue to fly a little closer, you hear the kind of heavy footsteps of Crux coming up the stairs to the forward of the deck. And there's a silence as he pauses at the top and kind of takes everything in. And then you just get a low whistle. Well, that's not something you see every day. Kind of looks around at the crew, like eyes lingering on Liliana and Booker as the two kind of most senior at the moment for this particular ship. Are we heading to it, or are we trying to go around?
She just kind of looks at Booker. We are going in, yes?
Booker shakes his head and kind of snaps himself out of it. Yeah. We're going to it. Whatever it is. I want to get a closer look.
You're staring at it rather intensely. Did you notice anything?
Shakes his head. Nothing that you can't see.
She nods. It looks like a giant baby.
Just hear
Shakes his head, like, partially. Yeah, kinda.
a little scoff from Micken. If that's a baby, I don't want to see Mama.
Question. How far can we see across, like, to the horizon? Does it, like, extend out into a fog, Silent Hill style, or could we see for, like, hundreds of miles and see other floating dudes like this? Excuse me.
As far as you can tell, this thing in front of you and what seem to be perhaps shards of it that have kind of broken off and are floating nearby are the only things. The astral seed is not easily, how do I phrase this? You don't see any other bodies around. In the astral sea, it's always kind of hard to tell exactly how far you can see. always feels like you're kind of stuck in that vague middle distance until something shows up. Either one something or a lot of somethings.
What kind of somethings? We talking rock somethings? Like big old pointy thing somethings? Threatening geometry?
That was a hypothetical joke.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fair. I was like, wait, there's more shit here? Okay.
Joe's ready for it.
Joe's raring to go.
Let me at him. Let me at him.
But you say you're heading towards it, and Crux kind of takes in the deep breath and then nods and starts moving to adjust the rigging of the Lady Luck to kind of take it in so that you can come up alongside this figure. Micken just kind of like looks around, looks down at Button, who's still taking notes, looks at Liliana, who's talking to Booker, just gives a little nod. I'll go get us. Where exactly are we aiming for?
Well, there's typically 2 entrances.
Take us to the shoulders, I guess. We're not going in those ways.
Like,
look, everybody was thinking it. I just said it.
Micken opened his mouth, slowly closed his mouth, brow furrowing, little distressed until Booker says something. Just shoulders. I can do shoulders. That I can't do. Starts walking down the steps.
Oh. Booker is going to nervously fidget with one of his many sharp stabbing implements. And he is going to stand on the prow and watch as the ship approaches.
You stand there, and it takes a few minutes between Crux and Flinch preparing the ship portions of the Lady Luck, and Micken trying very, very cautiously turning and flying the ship towards this figure a little bit more directly. And you come up kind of a little above the shoulder, enough to where it wouldn't be too hard to drop a rope ladder down. And you just hear the very faint shout of something from Micken below you. And then there's a little bit of a shuffling as Flinch goes down, sees what he's saying, comes back up. Micken wants to know if you want us to actually land.
How high up above are we at this point?
The very bottom of the Lady Luck is probably a good 15-20 feet up.
Okay, we got enough rope. Is it drifting, or does it seem to be kind of locked in place?
The corpse?
Yeah. So, like, if, for example, the Lady Luck were not to weigh anchor or were not to land on it, and everyone were to disembark, would the Lady Luck slowly get further and further away?
Oh no.
like it's relatively stable.
Okay.
Uh,
Booker's.
I see
Oh,
we
go
tie
ahead.
a rope to a rock attached to it, just in case.
You can
Is
land, you
there
can
even a rock?
you can land, you can kind of weigh anchor if you want. You can stay floating and not attach it anyway. Um, as you look out across the surface, it's very clear up this close that the skin question mark does seem to be solid stone. Some sort of almost basalt, pumice-like, holy volcanic rock. And there are chips and crags in it where possibly damage happened. So you could try hooking rope over it if you would like.
Well, before we do that, Booker's going to grab the longest lead of rope that is tethered to either the mast or something sturdy on the ship that won't move. And he's going to grab onto a good bit of it and jump over the side of the ship while holding onto the rope.
So, while you're doing that, we're going to pause for a second
Mm-hmm.
and swing camera around. Koya, it's been. Well, it's hard to tell exactly how long it's been since you awoke. Maybe days? Maybe a little longer? Maybe time just feels like it's dragged on longer and longer. As you emerge from a crystalline tomb that you don't even remember being inside. And as you've wandered what you can only assume was the body of that last enemy that you fought, it's been quiet. Quiet, but not completely desolate. Body of this thing has turned into a harsh, uncomfortable stone. Uh, Maybe just a tiny, bitter part of your brain thinks about it being a just result from what you knew of this thing before. Deserves to be a rock floating in nothing. But though you tried searching, you have not found any of your family, friends. You found other things. You found dust mephits scrawling away on this ancient stone. They generally ignored you, though there were a few that tried to pick a fight. There's been other things that you've been careful to avoid. Shadows that you see starting to form out of the mist that you have enough sense to turn away from before you truly find out what they are. As nothing pleasant ever moves like that. But for the first time since you've awoken, you see something not on the landscape of this body on which you walk, but something small and moving slowly but faster than anything else around here. Approaching instead. And as you kind of watch from a distance, not sure that you're trusting your eyes, that small dark speck grows larger and larger, and eventually, just for the sake of you getting to see this, Charlie, you see what you can only assume is a spell jamming ship, shaped like a ladybug. And behind is being towed a large, pretty decrepit looking space galleon that very purposely stops and turns directions to come towards this corpse. What are you doing?
I think I'm crying right now. I guess I'm just gonna hide behind one of the ears, take a peek around, keep an eye.
So you see this ladybug ship approach and slow even more until it's hovering just above the plane of one of the shoulders. And it's not moving. You can see the very small figures, because this would be a good 3 football fields away from the air. So you barely see figures moving on the deck before you see one launch itself over, and you see the very first very quick and then very slow descent from the ladybug onto this body. And though it's hard to make out, I want Joe to go ahead and describe Booker.
Oh. Okay, so Booker is a 6'1", purplish tinted tiefling. Or at least appearing as a tiefling. He doesn't have a tail, and his horns are they curl around, but it's not a smooth curl. It's kind of bent, like they were curled up and bent out of shape. He has black, like slightly medium length, or slightly above medium length hair that has streaks of gray in it. He's wearing a long, like, heavy leather kind of pirate jacket, and he wears tall boots with a white, or kind of off-white from weather and wear, an off-white shirt underneath it, and across his chest he has fashioned himself with a bandolier that, instead of wielding any sort of ranged weaponry, is decorated from top to bottom in various knives, no two of which look the same. One appears to be made of, like, bone. One appears to be, like, solid metal with the knuckles on it. Another appears to be, like, some kind of carapace-looking thing. There's a crystalline-looking one. He's It kind of decked the fuck out, looking violent.
Z, do I have a point of from
Do you have what?
a point of exhaustion?
A point of exhaustion? No, not right now.
No. Does it seem like this thief can see me?
No, he cannot see you at the moment. In fact, what is Booker, are you just jumping down for the sake of jumping down, or is Booker doing something particular?
He's going to jump over the railing and slide down the rope and land, and he is not going to do anything immediately. He's just going to stand there, lazily holding onto the rope and look around, kind of take in his surroundings, spin the rope on one hand. Also, I'm going to post the picture. This is Booker before he had his bandolier of knives.
Yeah, that is a commissioned picture of Booker, so Joe is very happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Edgelord.
Yeah.
Pretty rad. Very sculpted. Oh my god, I didn't realize that Booker didn't have a tail because I saw the art and my mind registered the belt as a tail.
Huh.
No tail.
Yeah, no tail. Okay.
Which is why it's always a little strange, because tieflings tend to have tails. It is not completely out of the question for them to not have one, but it is a rarity.
My mind saw a thing, assumed tail, until now. Okay.
Oh, Captain, wait for me. Jumps on your shoulder.
Launching off the side of the ship, landing directly onto this purple man. What does Liliana look like?
Liliana is 2 feet tall and is a plant girl with very long leaves for hair, and she has a little flower thingy like in the place of a hat. She's got on a very simplistic white dress, and instead of arms she has vines.
Very cute. I feel like every time you describe Liliana, she gets shorter and shorter.
No, she's 2 feet tall.
I imagine at the same time Liliana launches herself to Booker's shoulders, Button has taken the rope and is beginning the trek down. They're not the fastest. They're not fast at all, but they're just efficient and just making their way downtown.
Walking slow. Climbing slow.
They have to keep stopping because they need to adjust their hat every 10 feet or every 5 feet. And Button is a 3-foot tall being. They have a red cloak and hat that is covered in mushrooms and fungi and mycelium that's just growing on the edges of it. They have a staff in hand that is probably the reason why they're so slow, because they keep having to adjust giant staff. And their hat, which you can only really make out just bright eyes under the darkness. Because other than their bright eyes and the smallest little hole of maybe a mouth you see sometimes, that's all you see of them. Other than that, probably a void under the hat. But they just slowly make their way down, and as they touch down next to Booker and Liliana, they straighten themselves up and just put the staff on the ground. Very proud of themselves for making it down.
I'm just pinging the pictures directly for Charlie.
Thank you.
So yeah, tall and too small so far.
Definitely don't look like the beings that attacked me.
No, not in the slightest.
I haven't been on this god for a while. Am I aware of any patterns from the creatures on here as well as same time as me? Us?
As in what types you have seen?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that you have interacted with the most recently are, let me pull up the picture for you, because... So, you'd be vaguely aware of these. So most recently you have had most interactions with a type of elemental called the dust method. They're relatively small, 2-3 feet tall, always winged, pretty much always flying or scurrying around on the ground, but always trailing a kind of cloud of dust and smoke and dirt around them. That's the only one you have directly encountered since you woke up. However, the ones you've avoided a few times, or at least you're pretty sure it's what you've been avoiding, are much more ghostly in nature. Undead.
And would I know if there's been any chance of those ghost creatures being current?
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
Would I have any idea if one of those ghost creatures would be out right now? If this group is leading themselves into danger?
Give me a perception check. So you can just click the dice button next to perception on the skill tab. Okay, with an 18. You kind of scan around for a second, and you don't see the coalescing of kind of darkness that you associate with the undead creatures that at least you were aware of from before. So you don't think there's any immediately around.
Alright, I guess I'm sticking to where I am and trying to get the vibe of this group.
So, as Button finally reaches the bottom of the rope, there's just a head that pokes out over the top and looks down, and is like staring at Button and looking at Booker and then looking out. Do you guys need me?
Yes.
Okay.
Booker's gonna snap his fingers twice and be like, "Hurry up, wizard boy!"
Oh.
Micken, you are a valuable member of our team. You are needed.
Okay. And Micken kind of looks at the rope and looks down, and you can see a mental calculation. He has a hand like very firmly around the rope, like he's considering sliding down. And then he just shakes his head, and you see him drop the rope and kind of move his fingers and mutter something, and then he just kind of heaves himself over the railing, looks back at the ship in this very longing manner, and just jumps and slowly floats down. And Micken is a fairly average height, kind of olive-skinned human with dark hair, wearing kind of the traditional blue and purplish toned wizard robes. Though it is kind of complemented by a pretty sturdy leather belt that has more things than just a wizard spellbook attached to it. It's some pretty sturdy leather boots. And as soon as he lands, he kind of, even though he does not land hard, he just kind of settles down. He immediately kind of goes into a crouch, kind of looking around, and then slowly stands up, and you see him fiddling with a wand. I could stay with the ship. It'd be perfectly fine. It'd be fine.
Booker's gonna pat him on the shoulder and be like, I know you could. And he's gonna pat him on the shoulder one more time, and he's gonna start walking.
Button is going to reach up, and in a very similar manner that Booker patted Micken on the shoulder, they are going to mimic that same movement, but can only reach his knee before continuing.
Hello, Iris. We have gotten to the god corpse and are leaving the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
You all climb down the rope.
Would you like to describe the very late Trixie as she scrambles to catch up?
I mean, she doesn't even need to do the rope. She can fucking fly.
True.
Yeah.
Hang on, brain is, tall, pale woman with forearms, long legs, silver hair. She's a moth. Pretty cool.
Someone just woke up.
Yeah,
Jesus
somebody's still
Christ.
half asleep.
Look, I'm half asleep and I have a pounding headache.
Oh.
Go get some ibuprofen.
But I
Get
am
some
here
Excedrin. Get that
with
good
my
shit.
hot Excedrin.
Wicked is somewhere up here. And as you start walking, Booker, you just hear a faint shout from the ship. We'll keep a good eye on her. We won't let this one take anything. And you kind of look back over your shoulder, and you can see Crux kind of giving not a dirty look, but a very intent and pointed look towards Grimzod, who is also still on the Lady Luck. Just kind of arms crossed, lefty, kind of scuttling back and forth on the railing. He seems very unimpressed by Crux's clear disdain.
Button gives salute. Tis exploration time. Button has brought out a map. New piece of land / land? Question mark. What is? They are mapping.
So if Booker is leading the charge, whereabouts is Booker
Yeah.
heading?
I am assuming we landed or made land somewhere around the right shoulder blade because that's what I see in the picture.
Yeah, you'd be somewhere around here.
So Booker will give like a good look up and around, and then he will walk towards where the spinal column would be.
Okay.
This is a very strange way to navigate, but
Mhm.
you know where I'm going at least.
Do you want to know an even stranger way of navigation that I have found that I don't think I'm going to be using for this because it hurts my brain just a little bit,
Oh,
but I kind of
Oh, is
like
it a
it too.
what?
Let me find it again.
Oh man. Well, you said you kind of like it, so I was gonna guess is it a compass rose with a dick pointing north? But no, can't be that.
You okay?
What?
Sorry.
Oh. Oh, this is so cool, but it's such a fucking pain in the ass. Oh
Subway
god, I
system of human anatomy.
Alright. Can I not zoom in any closer? Shit.
If you open it up in a browser, you should be able to.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming we are... What?
This
The
is
auxiliary?
that is specifically for if you guys go inside.
Ah, okay. Like the outside, the right shoulder. It's right?
The shoulder that you see in the picture.
Okay, so it's right shoulder.
So
Cool.
you start heading towards the spinal column. Are you guys investigating this body itself, or are you just kind of looking around?
Investigating this body itself, please? What the fuck is this? Have so many questions.
Okay. I will say for free, all of you, because again, in this setting, since you all have just a little bit of innate magic, you can all feel it. The moment you set foot on this, you just feel the pulsing of magic. Not like it is doing anything in particular, not like the charge up of a spell or even the pulsing of the magic through like a spelljammer as spells are being thrown into it to make its speed faster. You just feel like you have jumped knee deep into a pool of magic itself. And as you all look around, Button is investigating the body itself. Booker, Liliana, Trixie.
Yes.
What are y'all doing?
I am on top of a booker, and I am looking and trying to hunt for trouble.
Okay. I believe the iris is still waking up.
Hello. Sorry. I heard Claire slip on the stairs.
Oh no, is she okay?
Oh,
Yeah, she's okay. We went to the gym and it was leg day, and the leggies is wobbly.
oh.
But she's okay. And to answer your question that I think I heard, Booker would also be investigating the body itself. But he wants to get like to the spine and to give like a good up and down look, because that'll be the biggest area from the way that the body is positioned, or the highest area.
Trixie would also be investigating, but not in a scientific way. In a poke, what's this? Poke, what's that?
Okay.
Weird.
So, Liliana can roll me a perception. Booker can roll me perception, arcana, or nature. And Trixie and Butt can roll me arcana or nature. Or medicine.
I often roll 20, but not D&D Beyond.
Oh fuck, I forgot. I have real dice. That's fine. I'll take a 19 for my arc.
What were my options again?
Arcana, nature, or
Mhm.
medicine.
Fucking medicine.
Okay.
Can't type for shit.
Damn.
It's a lot of 19s.
19s and a 25. Okay.
Yeah. She's got the high ground because of Booker.
So, as you all are walking, Button and Trixie, you guys are kind of poking around and wandering over to like a crack here, a fissure there, what looks like just a rock. You pick it up and kind of turn it over and examine it, and you, again, right as you start picking up, you know that this is stone. It is heavy, it's coarse, the edges of it kind of crumble in your hands. And, however, where the stone has not been broken, it is eerily smooth and flat, unlike any stone that you have encountered. It doesn't have the ridges and valleys of natural formations, or even of any type of weathered statue. It's only chipped, or it's only not smooth where it's been chipped or broken. And as you come across a deeper fissure, kind of peer down, you see that the lighter gray of this pumice stone does eventually stop. And underneath, further down, you see what almost looks like thin threads and veins of pulsing silver in the very stone itself as it shifts from light gray to darker and darker black. And then the fissure ends. And with 19 medicine checks, you realize that the layers of skin in the very stone and Booker, you continue to feel that pulsing of magic around you, and it is both overwhelming and alluring. It is everywhere all at once, and it feels like you could just reach out and scoop up some of it and have it. Though you know that's not the case. But as you kind of try to focus a little bit more on this energy, you realize that it's coming from some sort of source deeper within. And Liliana, as you're kind of keeping your head on a swivel, looking around while the others kind of poke and prod here and there, you don't see anything. At least nothing jumps out to your attention immediately. Then you see some of the larger stones that are poking out here and there from these fissures. There's carvings of some sort? Etchings, maybe? Clearly not natural. And Koya, as you're hidden behind this ear, you see one after the other these people leave the ship, with few remaining on the ship itself. They start walking up and over the shoulder, moving away from you, further out of sight. But you also know that the methods, at the very least, tended to be more in that direction. And once or twice, you had to turn and move away from gathering shadows there.
I'll follow, keeping at a distance.
Okay. Are you just keeping at a distance and walking normally, or are you trying to be sneaky?
I'll be sneaky.
Okay, roll me a stealth check then. Okay. What are the rest of you doing as you're gathering this information? And it is a good couple minutes walk to try and get to the spine if you're heading for the spine.
Well, I want to wait till we get to the spine before Booker pokes the ground with a dagger.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Dagger man. Um,
It's funny because Booker is simultaneously really smart, but equally just as much Unga Boonga sharp stick man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's gonna approach the situation very surgically. In fact, one could argue almost too surgically.
um, yeah, I think Button is just because they have the Wanderer background. This is new terrain, so they're just like mapping because they want to be able to find their way back to the ship very easily. We have the vagabond feature, which just makes this much easier.
Yep.
Mm. It's kind of like, you know, when you like have a GPS and you have your location turned off, and then like you go somewhere else and then you turn it back on, and it's kind of like, mapping the area starting from your pinpoint. And like as you move, it just maps out that area. Essentially that. Revealing the map essentially as they're making it. They've designated someone who is walking as their designated person to lead them while they are like nose and edge of the hat deep into this map.
I feel like there's a button leash that has been created. It's like wrapped around Button's waist. Just hand it to somebody.
You know who would be perfect for that job?
Uh,
Someone with 4 arms.
I feel like at first Button was kind of offended by the idea of the button leash, but like as time has progressed, they just whip it out themselves and just hand it to someone. It's like, here, hold.
Booker is up front with Liliana. Let's see here. Imagine Micken is kind of being the buzzing back and forth between Button and Trixie and Booker and Liliana of like there is safety in one of these groups. I don't like that they are wandering in slightly different directions at slightly different speeds. So, Trixie, I need you to also. Actually, Trixie and Booker roll me perception checks. Button would not see anything if their nose is in a book.
Can I use my passive perception, which is much higher?
Yes.
My passive perception is 19.
Oh fuck, wait. They gave the button leash to the fucking ADHD one.
Yep.
Oh no.
I am not sorry. Why is it?
Said you're just still doing the calculation?
It's not rolling. Let me refresh.
Wait, don't you have your Trixie dice?
I do not have the brain space for that right now.
Understood. Oof.
Trixie and Button are on their own adventure.
Poke,
They're
poke,
like
poke,
within. They're not too far, but they are focused on something else.
poke. No. No, no, no,
What?
no, 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 no.
No.
You gave Trixie the lead.
No.
You told Trixie to lead.
Trixie,
We're going to Kansas.
No.
This is why Micken was stressed out, man.
Making help. The button is not aware of what's happening.
Poke, poke. 10 steps further. Poke, poke. 10 steps further. Poke, poke. Oh, what's that over there? Poke, poke. Is that something shiny? Poke, poke.
Oh my god.
So, Booker,
Come on, Button. It's a whole new world.
as you start to come up over the kind of arch and curve of the shoulder towards the flatter plane of the back, you kind of look one way and then the other, and it seems at first like there is nothing, then both you and Liliana see halfway down the back what almost look like little clouds coming up off of the landscape of the back of this body. Far away. Just enough of a disturbance and a darkness against the swirling silver mists of this astral sea that it does ping in your mind of something of note.
Booker strokes his chin for a second. And then he'll turn around and look in the other direction, up towards the neck and towards the head. Is there... So, kind of hearkening to the classic Naruto anime, chakra has like little focal points in the body, like physical places where the magic juice gathers. Is that true in a vague sense that Booker would know of?
Oh my god, is he about to tap into the magic juice?
That's where he would want to go. If there is a magic point, he's gonna walk to the magic point.
Roll me another Arcana
Capri
check.
send this shit.
Mm-hmm. It's Arcana. I'm using my real dice this time. A 22.
So, you would know it's not quite like chakra, but in general, most discussions around magic and sources of magic in a living average person tend to place magic, depending on its type, in one of a very specific handful of places. First being the mind, usually of the most kind of arcane, wizardy type magics. The second is usually the heart or the stomach for a much more kind of natural magic. And the divine type magics, there is much less agreement, but one of the more popular theories is that divine magics tend to center on some piece or portion of the body that can be best associated with whatever divinity is granting said magic.
Hmm. So, before Booker goes any further, he is going to take out... Let's see. He's going to take out the the beast claw knuckles, and he is going to take a knee and just take a quick cut into what is the ground, I guess, the giant thing.
Quick cut as in like trying to stab in, or trying to just run a slice along, or...
We'll do a nice 3-inch.
A nice 3-inch slice, I'm assuming?
Yeah, slice. Did it not pick me up?
Yeah, no, it didn't pick up your last word.
Yeah, a nice 3-inch long slice from left to right.
Roll me to attack first.
Fucking. If I miss, I'm gonna be upset. That's a 21 to hit.
Okay. Then I'm gonna need you to roll me first a D100.
D hundo.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I got a 99.
Booker, this thing's full of wild
Roll me
magic.
another one.
Another D1 hundo. Less cool. 47.
Let's see here. Where is this? As you slice into this body, it is hard. It takes strength and force to try and dig your blade in, but you're able to just get it in enough to slide along. It is cutting stone. It is not like trying to slide a dagger into a body. It is like you are trying to carve a statue. But as you do, you see just a brief moment of it looks like your knife slide across a thin silver thread. And as it does so, there is a flash of magic. Knocks Liliana right off your shoulder. And suddenly, your bandolier of daggers is 30 feet away on the ground.
He.
And Trixie and Button from about 40, 50 feet away on your own little adventure. That flash of magic is bright enough that it does kind of catch both of your eyes.
What the fuck? Head turn in the distance. It's just a head tilt. So it's like, is Booker on the ground?
You'd have to be knelt down to cut the ground.
Oh, okay.
Booker,
like,
maybe
Liliana
not
got
go. Yeah, I got yeeted. Booker, maybe not go poking the magic man, please.
Booker's gonna stand up. He's gonna go get his bandolier of knives.
Tap, 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 tap. Button is coming over. Dragging a Trixie.
Charlie, roll me a perception check while this is going on, please. Continue.
I have questions. What? Why? I'd like why first. And then what?
Booker looks at Button and doesn't answer them and continues putting his bandolier on. Make sure it's nice and secure. And he's going to go back to where he made a cut and take a knee and examine it.
I believe the Booker has gone deaf. There may have been hearing damage in the flash.
No, he's just really hyperfixated.
He'll answer eventually.
Probably.
His brow is furrowed as he is examining this little cut he made.
Koya, as you're still trying to stay just far enough away, kind of hunched over, watching this group, you see all of this occur and the kind of chaos that comes after it. Though you hear one or two slightly raised voices, it is the familiar kind of up and down lull of people that know each other. They don't seem angry, they don't seem frightened, even. But as you're watching, you can see beyond them a dark swirl starting to take shape.
I'm so sorry, I was muted. How far off from them is it?
They're a good, 60, 80 feet in front of you, and it's probably about equal away from them, beyond that, so you're looking at 120 plus feet away from you.
Okay. Koya's gonna start making their way over. Normal pace. Still unarmed. Not necessarily trying to hide themselves at this point.
I'll say, because there is this conversation going back and forth. Does Liliana try to get on Booker's shoulder again, or is she hanging out on the ground, or...
I must be on the mount at all times.
So you're scrambling back up onto Booker's shoulder, and Button is questioning him. That as this is going on, Micken's kind of a few feet away, staring at what Booker is doing, but also very clearly I think this is far enough away that I'm not going to get hit by anything. And then as you all are talking, Koya, you see what you assume to be a wizard kind of look up, see you, look back down, and then his head snap back up and look at you again. As in, very clearly realizing that he did see what he just saw. And all of you just hear, "Oh."
Turn.
Howdy there, little
Booker will
lad.
turn to see. Oh, sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Would you like to describe what they see, Charlie?
Alright, when you turn around, you see I'll say 9-foot tall red person, gender uncertain, long hair, bit wavy. They've got 4 horns, 2 longer than the other 2, and black facial markings. They stand tall, straight. Behind them is a glaive, about as same size as them. Rather plain clothing except for the breastplate. I'm gonna say they look as if they had been in battle fairly recently. Scars are naturally healed up. Koya's got one hand on your friend's shoulder, and she's trying to get they're trying to get their attention to what's on beyond y'all.
Hold on, did they sneak up on Megan?
Huh.
Is there a hand on? How the fuck?
So it's just going to become a running gag of like people sneak up on Micken, and that's how the party finds out that there's somebody else there. Is
Honestly,
the sound of distress from Micken.
is what alerts
Okay.
them.
Okay. Okay.
He looks to Liliana.
There's a little guy inside of a big guy.
Yes.
Do you think this is a ship?
He blinks for a second and then looks down and then looks up. Huh. He doesn't brandish a weapon at Puya, but he spins the beast claw knuckles on its finger. One hand, like one finger through one of the knuckle holes. So, you're associated with this fella here? He taps his foot.
I reckon we just met. But I get the good sense that none of y'all wanna. That y'all would rather stay out of danger. If you look behind you, I think you would like to avoid what's coming your way.
Probably tell what's coming our way.
Liliana just turns around.
And
Miss God, what's coming your way?
as you turn around, Liliana, you see at first what looks like just a gathering of dark mists that slowly start to take the form and shape of a person. And you're pretty sure you see right at the core of the person something glowing red.
So as Booker's asking this, Liliana just turns around, blinks for a moment, and she sprouts like vines to like quickly turn Booker around.
Oh my.
Oh.
Very slowly, you see the outline of a slightly taller humanoid figure with perhaps a cloak of some sort that even before you see the mist form into legs, it starts to walk towards you. And where is my button? There it is.
The button is here. Can button, as they see this walking up, mushroom mode?
Yes.
Okay. Mushroom mode.
Where is...
So I will say if Koya snuck up on Mick and Micken's back here just a little bit more.
What level are we? 5?
7.
Oh, we're 7. Okay.
Mhm.
I was like,
Ooh,
you
I
still
got
think you're 5, ma'am. There's some problems. And Charlie, you should be able to drag your token onto the map. There you go. Shrink you down just a little bit. You are big, but you're not that big.
Begin.
Mick Big.
And Piper, you can also drag yourself onto the map. I don't know if Iris is back yet. I will pull an Iris over here.
Melee's in the front line.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. So as this figure seems to at first glide towards you, no visible legs that you can see until it forms, but even as the legs form, the head remains even. It doesn't bob or sway like a normal walking figure would. You see in its very core, pulsing red where you generally would place a heart. And as it approaches and gets closer and closer, Koya, you remember fighting some of these things. They were not the only enemy that you faced, but they were amongst them. They were almost always leading or coming just before a pack of other unpleasant spirits. And you all can feel the first tendrils and tingles of cold wrapping around you. As it gets a little closer. Not running, but approaching steadily and with a determination.
I'm gonna assume this is malicious intent.
You can assume.
Huh. Booker is not going to hesitate in the least.
Iris, would you like to appoint somebody to bop people with Trixie before you leave?
Who here has played monk?
Once, many, many, many years ago.
There you go. Have fun, Joe.
I hate minions.
Oh well, you have a minion for this gentleman.
A really powerful minion.
You're gonna...
Okay, if you want freaking Amy to have it.
I was answering your question. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I don't care who takes control of her. Just enjoy the bop. Sorry for trouble.
Go
we
to
feel
bed
better.
and good luck,
Guys.
Iris.
Thanks.
Who wants the bop? Because you guys are gonna need a bop.
I mean, I've never played a monk before, but if no one else is willing to, I'm willing.
I mean, I've effectively
I don't
never
have
played
a
a monk
sheet.
before.
I don't have her sheet, so I don't know.
It's on
what
the
she's
D&D
got.
Beyond, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I believe so.
But am I allowed to like click on it and stuff?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So, let Piper do the bop, unless
Okay.
up until Piper decides that she cannot do the bop, and then Amy, you can take over.
Okay. All good.
So,
Books, Vetrix.
if we can
Features and
all
traits.
go ahead and roll initiatives.
Yes. Okay. I can manipulate her sheet.
And
Let me guess. Holy shit! It's not a single digit!
No, that's me.
Where's...
Z, you're gonna need to give me control of Trixie's token.
Oh,
I will in just a moment.
Yeah, when you're ready.
that doesn't make sense. My initiative modifier is 4. What the fuck?
It's a lot of initiatives.
I'm trying to test the button to make sure why it's not working. Like, I just tried it.
That's what?
That doesn't make any sense. It's just rolling the die. It's not adding my modifier.
Oh no.
You can just roll with your physical die and tell me. I can put it in.
Put me at a 7.
Okay. Let me see here.
3. Sorry, you probably mean that you've returned. I just read it as re. That Koya's 9 feet tall?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Begin.
You should have control over the token now, Piper.
I do. Okay. Initiative.
Okay. Why are you saying there is nothing found? It is there. Ah. Okay.
That's cool art, though.
It's actually the official art.
Oh, sick.
I did not have the void pulled up for some reason. Alright. If you need restrooms, drinks, anything like that, now would be the time really fast.
Alright.
Hmm.
Say less.
Piss more.
And if we can get a battle song, Joe.
Yes. thought this would be more of a fight. Oh.
Okay, I am back.
And nope. And we have a Charlie back, correct?
Yep.
Cool.
We can.
Then. So, you know what? It was a very good question that you asked earlier. I'm assuming hostile intent because you are going first, Amy. That's bet.
That's why I asked. I'm like, hostile intent, right? Right? So, they've already mushroomed up. They're going to use their bonus action to shillelagh their weapon. They're going to use their action to cast Fire Shield.
Nice.
They're going to pick the Warm Shield. I don't know why it says normal roll. I don't need to roll for this. No, it doesn't say that thing. I'm gonna put a little thing on my token, if you don't mind. Is there a foyer? And close enough. So I'm just gonna assume hostile intent.
Wait, it did say I'm assuming you want to avoid danger, essentially.
And then this thing appeared in the direction of said danger. You know what? Say
Kill
less.
it.
Button's head turns to see this. They mushroom up, take out their quarterstaff. You see fungus starts growing, a layer of mycelium around both them and the staff. And there's like steam coming off of them as the mycelium around them kind of expands a bit. It's kind of pulsing. You see like steam wafting off of them as they just fucking march in a straight line 30 feet. It's like, I say less. That's it. That's their turn.
Hey, where is the Trixie?
Trixie is going to move. Right here. Trixie is going. Oh, no! I want my ruler, please. Thank you. She is going to use her astral arms, so as a bonus action. So they need to make a DC 15 con save. Or, sorry, dex save. Sorry.
Dex.
Dex save. Or take 2d6 force damage.
That's a failure.
It's gonna take that much force damage. And then she is going to make 2 attacks. 1, 2.
Damn.
Damn.
Okay, so that one I'm gonna need you to actually roll the 1d6 plus 4. Well, no, I'll just add the d6 on top of that one. Be nice.
And because she hit, she's going to spend a key point to Stunning Strike. So it needs to make a DC 15 con save.
And that is successful.
Okay, nothing else happens. Carry on.
But I'm gonna need that open anyway. Let's just leave that open. Okay. So, as Trixie comes running up and starts swinging at this thing, it eats the damage as the arms, the 4 astral arms, grow out of her and kind of buffet it. But even as it takes the damage, it just seems to kind of brace itself against the hit. And as the arms pass through it, you see wisps of shadow forming beside it. And it will use its... which one is this called again? It will just let out this haunting screech that's almost makes you feel like nails on chalkboard, but it's deep, almost like the nails running against your very bones through your ears. And you see 4 more swirling shadows start to form to either side of it. The shadows condensing into the pulsing hearts of these things. That all very quickly seem to lock on to the lot of you. And as the screech is slowly dissipating into the air, you see both hands of this first figure lock around a long sword that seems to materialize, and it brings it over its head to strike down on top of Trixie. Let's see here. I am pretty sure that's gonna hit. That's gonna be a 23.
Yeah.
Or what is your damage? Yeah. There it is. be 14 slashing damage.
Right. I cannot control her HP, so yeah.
Can you click on the token to get the little bubble to pop up and just type in there for right now?
Yeah. That says. Yeah.
And the warriors act immediately after the commander, so these things, as they are still forming, start to move with, let's see, 1 and 2 coming up on button. And both forming these spectral long swords to slash. 25 will hit, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Mhm.
Does
Yep.
a 17 hit, bud?
Not if I use shield.
Hey,
I'd like to use shield.
Okay, you use shield.
I use shield.
Okay, so you're just taking 1 hit. That is... It's 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing. He's making a melee attack.
Yes.
Oh, fire shield.
Alright.
2d8 fire damage.
Okay, roll it for me.
2d8. 9 fire damage. You said 10 slashing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then both of them are going to use their bonus action for Martial Fury, which will give them another hit, but advantage against the 2 of them for the next round.
Okay, that's nice.
Your shield is still up, I will remind you. It lasts
Mhm.
a round.
Oh, sweet.
But I think a 22 will still hit.
Yeah, that boots it up to 19.
But this is a natural 2, so that's not going to hit no matter what. She'll take another... for another 10 damage.
Slashing, I assume?
Yes.
For another 2d8.
Okay.
12. 12 fire.
Alright. And then the other 2 form what look to be longbows as they take aim at the back line, at least at the moment. And they're also going to use Martial Fury with their bonus action, so you're going to get 2 shots, Booker. Let's see here. That's a nat 20 on Booker for 1.
ouch.
Does a 17 hit?
A 17 exactly hits.
Okay.
Oh wait, I think. Let me check. Never mind. Damn it.
It is 20 total damage, piercing, as 2 astral arrows just sink directly into your shoulder, kind of spin you around a half step. And then the other one is going to use its Astral Fury, and it's gonna aim at Koya. Okay. 23 is going to hit, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Does a 19 hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That's 10 piercing, and then another 9 piercing, so a total of 19. But, Booker, it is your turn.
Okay. So, Booker. Oh boy. He's gonna. How far can he run? He can't make it too far. He's gonna get behind this guy first. He'll run up behind him, get in a flank, and he will use a. Ooh, do I want to use a bonus action for this? I don't even think I want to do that. Oh, you know, he will use a bonus action. He will use a bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike.
Hell
Nice.
yeah. I love that
So
spell.
let me remeasure my movement so that I know how far I went. So this is like 20 feet. And I don't provoke. And I don't provoke attacks of opportunity. So Booker's gonna run all the way around here. He gets 30 feet. He can get exactly here. So he'll zoom over there, and then he will. Well, let me cast that. That is a single slot used, or level 1 slot. And he will attack twice with the Beast Claw Knuckles. Where's my attack? There it is. So,
We'll have advantage.
so we're going with advantage. First attack. That's a 25 to hit with 9 slashing plus 1d8 from Zephyr for a 14 total damage. And then he'll go one more time with the Beast Claw Knuckles. Do I still have advantage, or am I not quite flanking?
You still have advantage.
Okay. Gonna swipe again. 20 to hit with a 9 slashing damage. Or sorry, piercing damage. And then he has one more attack with his fighting style. And oh shit, the Beast Claw Knuckles have a special thing. Wait, where the fuck is the special thing? If the number on the attack roll is odd. You know what? These guys look spectral. Do they bleed?
These do
Ah,
not bleed.
fuck.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, blast attack. 18 to hit.
Let's see here. 18 just matches the commander.
Oh, that's triple 9s for damage. Let's fucking go. But that is bonus action, movement, and action to attack. That is my whole turn. Just dash up and start fucking swiping like crazy.
tried and true. Oh, what's your range on this? Okay. Yeah, he can do that. I guess it's gonna kind of move up just a little bit and is going to drop a shatter right here.
Megan has one goal in life, and that's just to shatter everything.
Hey, poor man's fireball.
If it ain't broke.
If it ain't fixed, don't break it.
Okay, let's get some con saves for these things. No. Okay, one succeeded, one did not. So this is 11. This is -6. And you know what? Wiccan feels good about that. Koya, it's your turn. Charlie?
I'm here. I'm sorry. Bit lost.
Okay, what do you need help with?
I'm trying to figure out what my bonus actions are.
So, since if you're using your glaive, you're not going to be able to bonus action attack with an offhand. So, your main attack will be your action with the glaive. You can see if any of your spells are bonus actions. And Joe, you've played a samurai.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember
Yeah, so-
their bonus action economy?
yes. So if you're playing a samurai and you're using a two-handed weapon, you have a bonus action as a fighter. You have two. The first one is your second wind, which gives you health. And if you don't need health at the moment, your other bonus action is your I think it's called Fighting Spirit. And Fighting Spirit says you use a bonus action and you get a flat amount of temporary hit points, and you get advantage on all of your attack rolls until the end of your turn. So you only get 3 of those per long rest, I think. But that does give you a way to keep yourself tanky and high health and in a fight. And if you get in a good position, and you think you can kill an enemy, you can use it to give yourself advantage and potentially crit a foe and kill them.
But I will say that in this game, you do get advantage already from flanking an opponent. So if you're on opposite sides, you just automatically get the advantage. So like if Koya moves like here to be flanking with button, automatic advantage from that.
Okay.
Too
From
cool.
previous experience, would Koya know targeting the commander if that would get rid of the warriors?
No, from experience, these things only go down when they are taken down.
Good to know. Alright, Coil will move to flank a button. Thing.
Hello, new friend.
So if you get here first, they'll put you on opposite sides. You should naturally have 2 attacks at level 7 for a fighter.
Mhm.
Both will be at advantage.
Mm-hmm. Fighter good.
Yeah,
As
fighter
the-
could chop them up.
As those multi-attacks continue to grow in number, that's how you keep up with the fucking casters.
True.
Cries and druids 1 attack.
Go ahead and roll that one more time for the advantage.
Crit fish.
Yeah, crit fish. Okay, so the 25 will hit, and then you can roll it twice again for your second attack. Ah, there you go.
Very consistent. Holy shit. Knock on wood.
Would you like to explain what your glaive looks like, if it looks special at all?
Buddy. Sorry, Kira came home.
Hi, Kira.
Hi,
Should we say
Kira.
hi? What was the question?
Does your glaive look any or special, or is there a interesting way that you are striking at these things you'd like to explain?
Describe the spin. The spin
The
technique.
Star Wars spin?
Yeah.
Koya will leave Mikin muttering under their breath. Y'all are a rowdy bunch, aren't you? Come up behind one of the spectral warriors, doing a Star Wars spin. 1 hit to the head, another to the side.
Hell yeah.
As
Let's
you
go.
strike out at this thing, the glaive passes through it, but unlike the others, it seems to be struggling to piece itself back together completely. It's starting to look a little thin. Is that your turn, Charlie?
That is my turn.
Lily, what would you like to do?
Well, Mickens got his poor man's fireball, but I am not a poor man. I am a rich man. And I will actually cast fireball.
Damn, why you gotta show him up like that?
I would think that Liliana would be scared of the fireball, considering she has been burned a few times already.
I am not near the fire, so it's okay. I did the math on this. It is centered on this one, which only gets the enemies.
Okay, so get these 2 and the commander?
Yeah, it gets these 2 and the commander. Just
Barely.
gets it.
Just barely.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
edges of
Edges.
Booker and Trixie's shoes get a little toasty.
Hot feet, hot feet. Okay, DC 1735. Let's see here. Let's go with these 2 first. Okay, 1 passes, 1 fails. Let's see about the commander. That's also going to be a pass. So you just fucking nuke this one. This one just straight up disappears.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You see the fire licking at the cloak of the commander, and there is just the very faint hiss of heat combating cold. Is that your turn, Lily?
I will move over here, hop on Mickens' shoulder, spend a sorcery point to quicken a firebolt at the other ranger boy.
It's the far one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cast that. Well, never mind. That's his life.
Fortunately, that will not hit, just seemingly to pass through right as the mists are reforming back into the specter and just passing through a hole before it forms completely. But
Say Libby.
you have a very large friend.
Hell fucking yeah. Alright. Well, Button's got a new friend that is literally 3 times their height. So they're going to go and attack this motherfucker.
I can flat out tell you, with its hit point, if you hit it, it dies.
Let's fucking go. I hope to God I can fucking hit. At advantage, because flanking, yes?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Wrong one. Here we go. Because they shillelied.
That'll fucking hit.
Let's fucking go!
How do you kill it?
Whatever. That's not the right calculation anyway. Let's fucking go. I imagine that they turn to look at Koya, because it's a big, imposing figure walking up behind them that attack them and hit them twice. And Koya hit them like once in the head, once in the side, right? Button is going to very quickly baseball bat swing the quarterstaff into its fucking knees. In very quick succession. And they're gonna turn to face the other one. I don't think they can do anything. Unless, does anyone look really hurt?
Koya and Booker both took decent hits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still above half. So,
Okay.
I'm not too worried.
How's Koya looking?
They're fun for now.
Okay. I think the only bonus action spell I have is Healing Word. Yeah, I think that's the only bonus action I've got. Yeah. Unless I do Quillfire. That just swap me into offense mode. But I think for now it's fine. Button is going to move over here though.
Block it from Trixie.
Yep. Step. Stop. Turn. You're next.
Okay. Piper. Bop with a Trixie.
Yes. I make 2 attacks at advantage. How do I do that again? Yeah, with advantage? Type of roll. Roll with advantage. Okay, that's how you know. Wait, the ashes.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Okay, the second one will definitely
Sheesh.
miss, but the first one definitely hits.
I will spend a key point to try for a stunning strike.
Well, if I'm allowed to interrupt, I
Yes,
would say
yes,
I would say instead of stunning striking, because they look undead, probably flurry of blows.
Do you think they're immune to stunning?
I figure something that's dead can't be stunned. That might be metagamey though.
Well,
I
you
have no
guys
idea. So,
have fought undead already at least once, so you would know, at least in vague terms, that it is hard to put effects like that on, like status conditions on undead.
okay, fair
You-
enough. I will instead flurry.
Okay. Da-ba-da. This will hit. Alright. That's your turn.
That is her turn.
Okay. This commander now surrounded. You see as you're hitting it more and more, Trixie and Booker, that it goes from looking like a gaunt, but still whole, for the most part, elvish woman, to almost like, even in its spectral form, it is rotting away in front of you, and you see like skin starting to slough off, and the muscles and tendons of its face underneath as teeth kind of begin to show more and more. And it will first towards Trixie multi-attack with the longsword. So that is there it is. That is a 24 and a 21. Which I am assuming both will hit.
Oh boy.
For a total of 24 damage to Trixie. And then it will spin with its last strike across Trixie's stomach to suddenly, Booker, you're face to face with this thing as it moves into an uppercut using its martial fury against you.
Oh.
And that is a 25. So you got something to stop with 25.
No, I do not.
Check this. For a total of 20 damage against you as necrotic energy lances out from the sword as it slices across your abdomen. Then we'll move to the other ones. This one over here by Button is going to take aim at Button. It will also use Martial Fury against you.
Mm-hmm.
So, 23.
Mm-hmm.
And then a... Let's see... dirty 20.
Whew.
Okay. Okay. Both of those hit. However, start of its turn, right?
Yes.
But it's gonna use their reaction. Fucking con save. Before you fucking take out my 10th HP. DC 16.
That's a nat 1.
Oh boy. They're undead, so it's not gonna do much. However, Fucking 5 necrotic, because fuck you. Yes, both of those hit, though.
Okay, so that is 14, 21, 22 points of damage.
22 total?
Yes.
Slashing, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Though
It's
I
going to
will
be
say,
taking a
I
bunch
don't
of
know if
fire
you
damage.
do you have any resistance?
I have resistance to poison and resistance to cold.
Okay. Neither one of those.
Yep. That's going to be taking a bunch of fire damage, though.
It's 2 attacks in total.
Yep. It's going to be 22, even trade.
As the fire lashes out from your shield against it, you can see the fire kind of eating away at the mist that forms the specter, and it starts to shrink a little bit. It's not looking great. And then this one over here that Liliana keeps shooting at is going to shoot at Liliana. Okay. Does... double check your longbow plus your... Does a 16 hit Liliana?
What is my AC? That's a good question. With mage armor? Yes, it does.
Rip.
It is a 15.
And then the 19 will hit as it uses its martial fury as well. So, let's see here.
Did we get healed at any point during this, by the way? Like, on our way?
Yeah, you should have been full health. You had a long rest.
Okay.
So that is
That's
20, 13, 16 points of damage as 2 spectral arrows lodge themselves in your abdomen, Lily.
ow.
Booker.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm exactly, precisely at half. I should be okay though. Booker's gonna move just a little bit over here. And he will use a bonus action to spell strike his sword with Touch of Madness. And then he is going to attack with the Beast Claw Knuckles. So if he hits, if and only if he hits, he will be able to cast Touch of Madness on this motherfucker. So first attack. And it is at advantage still because flanking.
Yes, and because
Okay.
Martial Fury, all of them have advantage currently.
Nice. First attack.
21
to hit. With minimum damage. Yeah.
Damage is damage.
Math is math. This is Touch of Madness. My DC is int based, which makes it a 14. A DC 14. It's not a strength save. Why is it? Why you say these? Wisdom save.
Wisdom. 14, you said.
Yes.
Good thing it was wisdom because it only has a +1, so it ended up with a 13.
Oh.
Oh shit! Oh shit! It's happening!
It's gonna take. This is the first time this spell has actually worked. It's gone off.
Fucking go!
It's gonna take 3d8 psychic damage, and that is it.
Okay,
Because it
roll-
did not fail to save by 5 or more.
roll
We're doing
3d8.
3d8 for 9 psychic damage.
Okay.
And now we're gonna finish my other 2 attacks. with the Beast Claw Knuckles number 2 for 25 to hit for 8 slashing, or piercing damage.
Okay.
And then last one for a 19 to hit for 7 piercing damage.
How you want to do this?
Hey! So Booker will start with like a slasher, like the Anthony Hopkins, or not Anthony Hopkins, fucking, what the fuck am I talking about? He's gonna start with a slasher stab, like holding the knife in a reverse grip, and then plunge it down, and then do the release the psychic damage, and then pull the dagger out, and then do a quick, like, backhanded swipe, and sever the throat. Give him the throat cut.
As you slice the commander's throat, the mist that forms its body starts to dissipate as it seems to shrivel down into a skeleton, and the last thing you see is that pulsing red heart until it dissipates as well. Is that your turn?
That will be... Well, he'll use the rest of his movement to get, like, closer to this guy.
Mick, seeing that this is going, at least in his humble opinion, relatively well, is going to pick up a piece of rock, kind of weigh it in his hand, and then we'll use catapult on that far one. 16. Okay, dexterity save. That's a nat 1. So just a large chunk of pumice stone goes sailing through this far one's head after it shoots Liliana. You see that the head is taking its sweet time in coming back together. Koya. There are 2 left on the field.
Get him.
Alright. Koyo will do the same thing as last time. Move in behind the enemy that Button is in front of.
Mhm.
And striking twice.
Let's go!
Sheesh!
Is enough to kill it with that one hit. How
Let's
do you do this?
fucking go!
I think this one will be an overhead swing. Crushing the skull in, such that it sinks a couple of inches into the shoulders.
Oh.
Gross.
Damn. That's making me scratch my shoulders. Let's go.
You sink your glaive and you see the head sink down with this unpleasant noise. Before starting at the head and neck, it starts to dissipate until only the beating heart is left and it disappears.
Sicko mode. That will be it for me. Or I guess.
Can you reach it for the second attack?
20 feet of movement?
Can you throw your glaive?
Charlie, do you have a snappy one-liner?
No.
I will say, if you would like to try and throw your glaive, you can. It will be at disadvantage because glaives are not meant to be thrown. But you can attempt to yeet.
I will not attempt the yeet.
Aw. I mean, would this one have advantage on it? Would it be canceled out?
Yeah, it would have
With the
it. So it
marshmallow
would
dice?
technically be canceled out. So it'd just be a straight roll once.
Are we really eating the family heirloom?
Well, it's not like there's anywhere for it to disappear to.
All right.
And you do
Yeet
have a little bit of a bone to pick with these things.
So just straight attack is normal?
Yes. Would you like to guess how much HP it has left? Exactly 8.
it. Dude,
Nice.
Kill.
let's fucking go.
Easy.
Yo, he just fucking
Clap.
popped this one's head in, runs, yeets a glaive.
Oh, Koya will eat the glaive into its chest, sending it back a few feet.
Yo.
Yo!
You yeet the glaive into its chest, and it goes through just far enough that as it kind of stumbles back and falls, it's almost pinned to the ground for the last few seconds as it decays down and dissipates. And that's the end of combat.
Yo.
Yo!
Now,
Let's fucking go.
I do know that you have a hard cutoff, Charlie. Would you like to end it here before these knuckleheads swarm Koya for questions?
Can do 20-ish more minutes.
There you go, folks. You got 20 minutes.
Zoom. Button got there first. I imagine we're all just fucking like, time to talk, time to talk, time to talk. But as is customary, as is the tradition, aura of vitality.
Booker is going to walk over to the glaive that was thrown and stand next to it.
It is
Koya,
very clearly magical.
Okay, that's one. I'm just gonna do this manually. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
So, what this is, Charlie, Aura of Vitality is something that every 6 seconds it pulses out healing to one person. So, in general, Amy tends to have Button use Aura of Vitality at the end of fights and just roll a whole bunch of them, and people claim them as they need to, so that people can be healed up again.
I was wondering about those rolls.
I'm very sorry. I was trying to get this out the way so that Button can start talking to Koya.
So I will say, simply for the benefit, everybody except Micken got hit. I don't know if it went past Button's temp HP.
Oh, it did. A little bit, though. Button's fine.
I got hit, see?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You take 20 damage.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Amy, as a preference for the next time that we end up doing this and healing, can you please one at a time just say, hey, here's a heal for 4, and just dedicate your heals to one person rather than spamming the chat with a bunch of heals and like letting us figure it out.
I mean, I was gonna go through them. I just wanted to put them all on there first.
That's fine.
I was gonna group them up into like little packages.
But Booker is at he is 40 hit points down.
How much
Goddamn.
did Trixie lose, Piper?
She took 14 points.
Okay.
Hmm.
And Lily took 20 something, right?
Yeah.
And Koya also took 20 something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Trixie is gonna heal for 4. Piper, if you want to mark that down.
Okay.
Booker is gonna heal for 20.
20.
Hmm.
Nice. Thank you.
Lily's gonna heal for 18. Koya is going to heal for 20. And then Booker's gonna heal for another 10.
Nice. Nice.
All done.
Thank you.
Okay, but yes, it's a little, it's like slightly humid around Button, but not uncomfortably so. It's just a little noticeable. In the area around Button. But I mean, it helps the sore muscles. They waste no time. No hesitation. They walk straight up to the 9-foot tall figure and they just look straight up.
How tall is Button?
Button is 3 feet tall. Button will wave.
Koyo waves back. The healing came from a mushroom, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's kind of like, have you ever seen mushroom spores?
Yeah.
I imagine that that's kind of what disperses in like waves. It's just a little warmer.
I think at this, Koya will kneel down and kind of lean into it. Fascinated? That was mighty impressive back there.
It was something. However, I have questions.
I perhaps have answers.
First question. What is your name?
You can call me Koya.
Hello. My name is Button.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Button.
Holding out the tiniest fucking hand to shake.
Oh my goodness, how would this happen? Does Koya hold out a finger? I guess Koya holds out a finger.
Shake. It's a rather firm grip for someone very small.
So I advise you guys not to go looking for trouble, and you run headstrong right to the source of it.
Oh.
Yeah. It was not a bad thing. Unexpected.
We are what some would say not lucky.
I prefer to
Not
think of it
lucky.
as us doing our own thing.
I didn't see any danger.
Just Micken
Did you see danger, Bob?
Micken's head snaps around to look at Liliana, who still has like a little bit of a hole in a shoulder. Didn't you get shot?
I did get shot, but we weren't in any danger. Those were easy.
Don't say that. Why'd you say that?
Well, because the more danger, the more treasure they have, obviously.
Booker,
Booker, you can
He
have your
didn't-
plant back.
he just blinks. Booker didn't like fully inspect any of the corpses, but like casually walking by them, do they look like they have any good gear? Because I assumed they probably didn't.
Are there corpses?
There are not corpses. Roll me a perception check, and yes, this one has to be rolled.
I think while they're doing this, Koi is gonna go pick up her glaive.
Booker will watch Koya like a hawk. So much so that he does not pass his perception check with a 7.
Oof. Total?
Yep. This is why I
Oof.
prefer passive perception, because I got the observant feat.
Oof.
You do see laying on the ground where the commander was a black metal longsword.
Ooh. Booker will walk over and scoop it up.
And it hums with a very, very faint magic.
Koya, if you don't mind, as you're going to your glaive, Liliana's gonna try and hop on your shoulder.
Fucking how?
She's got vines. She like Tarzan's her way from person to person. Is how I imagine it.
So as you turn and
Scramble.
walk away from Button for a second, you just feel the very slight tug of like vines wrapping around your upper arm, and then a little bit more weight. And then suddenly there is a plant lady clambering onto your shoulder, Koya.
Alrighty then.
So what you doing here?
Like y'all, I'm a bit unlucky. Guess I got stranded here.
You got stranded inside the giant man?
Who left you here?
One second.
I hear the checking of the backstory.
I do. Yep.
I feel that though.
Tabbing open Obsidian. Where is it?
Exactly that.
Which dot?
I guess you could say my ship got separated from the others. We got lured here. Fighting ensued. I went down, woke up, and was alone.
Oh.
Oh, indeed.
Glenn's gonna
Okay.
reach out and just pat, shin.
Booker will keep his eyes on you as he walks by, but he will walk over to Micken. And he will gesture with... He's holding the sword point down, like in a reverse grip, as he carries it over to Micken. And he'll get, like, probably within 10 feet, and then he'll hold up his other hand and do the, like, come here. And then when Micken gets close enough, he will hold the sword out and be like, do your thing. Please.
Micken is already reaching for the sword. He understands the routine. We'll start identifying good little traces of orange and blue magic reaching out from it. And see that this is a +1 longsword magic. But rather than slashing damage, when wielded by a mortal, it does necrotic damage.
Ah. Interesting.
The grumpy one is Booker, the scaredy cat's Micken, the mouth over there's Trixie. You've met Button already.
Hello.
And the one that's wanting free rides is Liliana.
Look, you guys are just way so faster than me. My running is like your 3 steps, so get used to being my horse.
I suggest taking more steps in a quick succession. That can allow you to traverse farther in a smaller amount of time.
I can only generate so much oxygen at a time. That would expend literally all of it. So why do that when I have such prime... some prime steeds?
Booker
How do
raises
you
an
run that
eyebrow.
fast, actually?
Booker just, like, he says mostly under his breath, and he's just like, oh, you're lucky you don't weigh too much. Otherwise, I'd kick you off. Excuse me.
There's just a very, very tiny smirk from Micken.
Captain dear, were you just saying something about me?
Oh. Oh.
Button, who's a bit closer, just turns, knows that is in fact a fucking lie, turns back, has decided to not say anything.
So, correct. So, quick question to you, Charlie. Koya has a third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Booker will
This is
take
a
a step.
race unlike
Koya.
any that any of you have seen.
Booker will take a step up to Koya. And how tall were they again?
About 9 foot tall.
Jesus. He's looking fucking straight up. Goddamn fucking. Hold on, I gotta find the image.
If Booker looks like he's struggling, Koya will know down.
He's not struggling. It's but I 100%. This is what I have in my head.
I feel like that's about it, yeah.
But he'll walk up to Koya and look, like, kick his neck back and look up at Koya, and then tap a finger to the middle of his forehead and to the middle of his own forehead, and he'll say, "Where'd you get this? Were you bored with it?"
That I was. Koya will point to her horns and gesture to him. Were you born with those?
He nods, like in a fair kind of way. He'll nod and shrug and be like, "Oh, I was. I used to not look like this though. They used to be a lot neater looking. Now they're all bent out of shape."
It kind of explains him as a person, really.
He just like he's still looking at Koya, but he'll flip the bird towards Liliana. So, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
Miss God, where am I from?
Some
Yes.
yet unnamed planet.
I've heard of that place.
Somewhere far away.
I'm working on it, man. I have a
From
galaxy
Hades,
to
they
fill
got-
out.
From Hapes, they have girl bosses there?
Where are the
What's
cowboy
that?
samurai from? That's where I'm from.
Are you tall for your size there?
I'd argue a bit on the smaller side, actually.
Booker raises his eyebrows for a second and looks to Button and says, "Oh, you two have a lot in common."
Button turns. I
Nope, 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 nope,
do
nope,
not
nope.
under.
Just like, nope. Shaking head, waving hands. Nope.
Never mind.
Thumbs up.
Never mind. Never mind.
Booker will
Okay.
give a smile and a nod to Button and be like, "You're learning."
I am learning.
Just another nod from Beacon.
I am learning. I'm learning.
I thought you were
Well,
Button.
I am Button.
well, Koya. We do appreciate the assistance in the scrap there. I suppose if you're looking for a lift off this rock, we could give one to you. For a price.
Koyo raises an eyebrow and cross her arms. Their arms. What exactly would that be?
Well, the bodies, the corpses, they're still there, right? They didn't just dissipate into nothing, or did they?
They did.
Okay.
Born from the mist, die by the mist.
Booker gestures like he hooks a thumb over his shoulder back to where the combatants were lying dead, and he'll say, "Well, seeing as how you so aptly took care of some of those troublemakers we ran into, and given your he looks down to the toes and then up to the top of the head, stature, I think you'd make an appropriate acquisition for our little gang here, as we are fixing to get ourselves into another big couple, or no, we're fixing to get ourselves into another couple scraps. And it always works out better for the bigger guy in a longer and more messy fight, at least in my experience."
Charlie.
Sorry. So you give me a lift, but you keep me around indefinitely?
Not indefinitely. I'm not in the habit of taking prisoners, but I am in the habit of recruiting when it suits my interests. And you suit my interest for violence, which is almost certain to follow in my footsteps. Sorry, he looks to everyone else. Our footsteps. Sorry I keep you on the payroll for a little bit.
We might have trouble getting a big enough bed, so
I will build one.
Booker gestures to Bun and just goes, "We'll even build you a bed."
Well, I'm fine on the floor, thank you.
Shrugs.
But,
No skin off my bones.
guess you got yourself a deal.
And hey, if and we got time, and we end up finding some information about those who left you behind, if you happen to want a little bit of payback, I wouldn't mind lending a hand or two. I can sympathize being stranded on a place like that.
So Koya's expression kind of goes sour. And no, she leaves it at that. They won't say anything.
Booker looks a little confused, but curious, and he won't say anything. And he'll just nod and say, "Right. I'll take that as a yes. To the offer, I mean."
They'll extend a hand. Offering
Booker
to
will
shake.
shake on it. Yeah.
Well, that's that.
Okay. So, this feels like a good place to pause, since you've just officially recruited Koya, before anything else happens. To give Trixie some reason to not be a part of the conversation, Trixie went poking around where the various bodies fell. And are you ready for a list, Amy?
Hold on. I can't type all of a sudden. My fingers were having a stroke. Okay. What Trixie went poking around and found stuff. Hit me.
So she goes, one of the ghosts, she finds 133 gold has been scattered.
She picks up all the shinies.
Picks up all the shinies. As well as 6 wooden nickels that seem to have been hidden under the soil. And all have the emblem of what looks like some sort of tavern or inn. And it's marked the Ale Barrel. B-E-R-Y-L.
B-E-R-Y-L?
Yes.
We've seen that place, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Topla pointed it out to you as some place that she likes in Astral Sea. She also found a gold ring set with a pearl. And then half trapped under a rock and similarly kind of covered in dust and gravel. She pulls out a silvery cloak that she hands over to Micken. And Micken identifies it as a cloak of elvenkind.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
And that's all she finds.
Okay.
You'll officially end it there.
A